Imagine this. For years, you've lived in a world where the center of your vision has vanished. You can see shadows, the edges of things, but when you look straight ahead, there's nothing. Just a gray blur where faces and words should be. Reading a book, recognizing a loved one's face, or even cooking a meal has become almost impossible. Now imagine that one day, you sit in a doctor's office, and they tell you they can place a chip smaller than a grain of rice behind your eye, and that it could bring some of that vision back. This is not science fiction. This is happening right now. Across Europe and the United States, scientists are testing a tiny eye implant that could transform the lives of people who are legally blind due to a condition called geographic atrophy, an advanced form of age-related macular degeneration. It's a disease that slowly destroys the cells in the central part of the retina, the macula, which is responsible for sharp, central vision. Once those cells are gone, the brain gets no signal from that part of the eye. People with this condition can't see faces directly, can't read, can't drive. For millions around the world, this has been a life sentence with no cure. Until now, the new device called the PRIMA implant might change everything. It's a 2 mm wide chip, thinner than a human hair, made of silicon. It's implanted under the retina in a short surgery that takes about 2 hours. Once in place, the chip works with a pair of special augmented reality glasses that have a tiny camera. The camera captures what's in front of the wearer and sends that visual data to a pocket-sized computer. The computer then converts the image into infrared light and beams it into the chip in the eye. The chip, in turn, turns that signal into electrical pulses that stimulate the surviving retinal cells, bypassing the dead ones, and send visual information to the brain. In simple terms, this implant acts like a tiny, artificial retina. It replaces the broken part of the eye and connects with the rest of the visual system that still works. And the results, revealed in new clinical trial data, are nothing short of extraordinary. In a recent study involving dozens of participants across several countries, about 84% of people who received the implant regained the ability to read letters and words again. Before surgery, some of them couldn't even see the top line of a vision chart. Afterward, they could read several lines lower. The improvement was equivalent to gaining back 5 lines of vision. That might not sound like much, but for someone who hasn't read a word in years, it's life-changing. One of those patients is Sheila Irvine from Wiltshire, England. 15 years ago, she was diagnosed with age-related macular degeneration. Gradually, her world began to fade. She described it as seeing 2 black discs in the middle of her vision, surrounded by distortion. She had to stop driving. She could no longer read her favorite novels. She said she cried all day when she handed in her driver's license. When she was offered the chance to join the clinical trial for the PRIMA implant, she didn't hesitate. After surgery, she began a long process of rehabilitation, learning how to interpret the new visual signals her brain was receiving. She wore the glasses every day, practiced focusing, zooming, and scanning text, and one day she read a word again, then a sentence, then a crossword puzzle. Sheila says the experience was dead exciting. She's now able to read her medication labels, grocery packages, and even do her beloved crosswords. She says she joined the trial to help future generations, but the truth is, it gave her back a part of herself. This technology represents something profound, a bridge between biology and machines, between blindness and sight. And what's most fascinating is that it doesn't rely on external wires or bulky equipment. The implant is powered by light itself, using a photovoltaic process like a solar panel inside the eye. That makes it safer, simpler, and potentially scalable. Now, this isn't the first attempt to restore vision with implants. There have been earlier retinal devices, like the Argus-Sille system, which gave users a kind of pixelated, low-resolution vision. But the PRIMA implant goes a step further. It doesn't just let people detect light or vague shapes. It allows them to make out letters and words with enough clarity to read. Still, it's important to note that this isn't a miracle cure. The vision it provides is artificial. It's not like suddenly seeing in full color again. Faces and objects may still be hard to recognize. The field of vision is limited, and the process of learning to use it can take months of training. But for many, any improvement in independence, being able to read, to see objects straight ahead, is a major victory. Beyond the medical triumph, this story raises some bigger questions about the future of human enhancement and accessibility. This technology could soon be approved for wider use, but who will be able to afford it? Will it be available only in wealthy countries? Will insurance cover it? These are the kinds of issues that could shape not just medicine, but also ethics and geopolitics in the decades to come. We're entering an era where the boundaries between human and machine are becoming increasingly blurred. Around the world, companies and governments are investing billions into neurotechnology, brain chips, prosthetic limbs that can feel, interfaces that allow paralyzed people to move again. The PRIMA implant is another step on that path, showing how silicon and neurons can work together to restore something as fundamental as sight. And this isn't the end of the journey. Researchers are already working on next-generation versions of the implant with higher resolution, wider visual fields, and better image processing powered by artificial intelligence. In the future, these implants could even restore full color vision, or integrate with brain interfaces to send signals directly to the visual cortex, bypassing the eye altogether. Imagine a world where blindness, once thought irreversible, becomes treatable, not with magic but with microchips. But technology is only as powerful as the lives it changes. For people like Sheila, this isn't just a medical milestone. It's the return of independence, of dignity, of small joys like reading the label on a jar or seeing a loved one's expression. For doctors and scientists, it's a glimpse into what's possible when innovation meets compassion. And for the rest of us, it's a reminder that the future isn't coming. It's already here, blinking quietly beneath the surface of a human eye. In a time when the world often feels dark, politically, socially, environmentally, stories like this remind us that there's still light breaking through. A tiny chip, a few millimeters wide, now carries the power to give sight back to the blind. And if that doesn't make you believe in the potential of human progress, nothing will. So next time you look at the world around you, imagine seeing it again for the first time, the colors, the faces, the written words. For thousands of people, that dream is no longer just a hope, it's happening right now. And this is only the beginning.